I'm Shane Nyland, and my co-host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi, 2004. This is part 2 with Curtis Neill of Mobile Assault Platoon 2.
Well, that was April 6th, I believe. And then, of course, one thing led to another after that. It was April 6th the day, I think I want to say it was, but the day we grabbed the kid out in the field that was been missing for days and days.
Yes, at the end of April 6th, that was yes. He was not missing for days, but he was missing basically for all day that day. Yeah.
Yeah. And because I went out and got him too.
Yeah, so that was basically the end of the 6th, closer to the end of the 6th anyway. Rainmaker had joined us at the end.
I remember there was a bunch of vehicles, and then he is out there.
Yep. And
I said, I'm going to go get him.
We finally came up. You pushed all the way out. You and a couple other people pushed all the way out to where that pump house was and got him out of the pump house. Yeah.
Well, the way I recall it, this is the way my memory.
Yeah. No, I was with the trucks at that point.
Because I remember, we knew where he was at. Nobody was going to get him. I said, well, I'm going to go out there and get him. And then only 2 people went out there that I recall. Maybe they had some people behind us, but I was going on my way out there. Lieutenant Stevens says, I'm going to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
So he and I went out there, and we got to the hut that he was in. It was like, I don't know, 4x4, 5x5.
Yep.
He was in there. He had a bullet hole in his receiver. He had I think one of his fingers was hanging. He was crying. He was pretty much of a mess. And he was trying to tell us I couldn't understand what he was saying, really. I don't blame him. He was a young kid, but. So I ended up slapping him in the head, in the helmet, to jog him out of his, whatever he was in. I said, listen, we got to get out of here. I need you to be a little bit coherent here. I used different words, but.
Yeah.
So I remember hitting him in the head. And then away we went. But it's funny because I remember leaving that place. I have no recollection. I don't even remember the walk back. I don't remember getting him to where we were going. I don't remember anything of that. But I see that book that came out. I read that book and I said, and of course, it's leading up towards the end, is leading up to that.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. This is sounding pretty damn familiar to me. And I'm like, wait a minute. That was me.
I was going to say, and weirdly, you weren't mentioned. Yes, that's.
I know. Well, you know what it did say? It said Lieutenant Stevens is one of his men.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? So now I never knew that kid's name,
Yeah.
So I found him and I've spoken to him since just only about 2 months ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, good.
That's nice.
I contacted him and I said, hey, I was the one that came and got you out there that day. I don't know if you ever knew who it was. I mean, if I was him, I'd want to know who it was.
Yeah.
And so he's actually in the Army. He stayed in the service, but he's a first sergeant in the Army. He is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say he's in Georgia, something like that. But he sent me a bunch of texts in a row, and he's thanking me and thank you for getting me out of there, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't even remember his name, but I still have it on my phone, the messages. It's kind of neat.
That's cool, man. That's good that you reached out.
Yeah.
You remember much of the rest of that day at all?
No, you might remind me.
There's not much. So there was an IED suspected anyway that was between sort of the north reinforcement portion of the city where the Echo QRF was and the Bradleys. Turned out not to be one. And then finally the QRF showed up as well as the Bradleys. We all kind of loaded some casualties into one of the highbacks, and a couple of us, one of my vehicles and the Rainmaker highback, took them to Junction City to the medical. And then the rest of you guys went to Hurricane Point, and I came back and met you at Hurricane Point.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And then after that, we kind of retooled and Do you happen, just out of curiosity, do you remember the evening time at all on after any of that stuff on the
After
6th?
Morris?
No, well, either one. Yeah,
Oh,
after
well,
Morris or after the 6th, either one.
well, I remember, of course, everybody was pretty somber about that. But after January 6th evening time, am I missing something?
No, no, no. I was just curious
Oh,
I mean, because basically April 6th ended up being our first biggest point of contact, right? Our
yeah,
first big
yeah,
firefight.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if you remember how it felt or anything that struck you.
No, I mean, at the time, it really was, I mean, I didn't know the magnitude of what that day was going to entail later.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody did really, but I do remember the day after. Was it the 7th or 8th?
Yeah, so
I think we had a bit of a lull on the 7th, no?
no, the
Or was it
7th
the 8th?
was
Was
yeah, so
that?
based on the 6th, Gunny Malarkey came out and we got retooled with way more ammo. We got tow
Yeah,
missiles, we got everything. And then we went back out on the 7th. And the 7th was our like all day. It was like 11
that's the
hours
one
basically.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, there was what the hell name of that street was? That was where the RPG hit the grill,
Correct. Yeah, it
and
hit
there's a
the first
tanker on
vehicle.
the right side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got some stories with that one.
Yeah, go
That,
ahead, please.
well, that's one of the ones I don't want to tell you about.
Okay. All right.
But I can get into it though. But
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember towards the end of the day. Well, didn't we not hit an ID right before that?
So we did. It didn't do much, but yes,
Yeah,
there was one
yeah.
on the way
So
out.
I'll get to that first before I go to what I remember after.
Okay.
Let's see. Because I know as soon as the idea, because as soon as the idea went off, Miranda opened up with the 240 down the street. I think he was just shooting.
Sure.
But me and Cohen dismounted. Cohen and we dismounted. And I had seen two guys in a building, small building. And I just had this bad feeling about them. So I went in there. And Cohen was with me. We had guns up. I had my rifle in the guy's chest. And they were like, no, 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 lifting up their shirts. No weapon, no weapon. And I'm thinking, yeah, you got no weapon, all right. And I just had a feeling they had something to do with it. Or they at least knew, they had to have known something. I mean, they were right there.
Uh, yeah. Standing in the
So,
ambush. Yeah.
and we walked away, and I'm thinking to myself, mother, I goddamn well knew they had something to do with it. So I went back. Cohen was behind me, and I opened the door real fast. And I shit you not, they were both laughing and smiling and literally high-fiving each other. And I'm like, oh, now my blood's boiling.
Yeah.
And Cohen's with me. And he was he knew a little bit of Arabic to
Yeah.
get by. So I said, even forget what I asked him to tell him or something like that. And then I had my rifle right next to him. I'm like, if Cohen was not there, that would have been a different day for them. I can tell you that for sure. If he was not there, that would have been different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still, that still bothers me that I just knew they had something to do. What could I do? I mean, I could have done something, but
Right.
You weren't able to at that point. Were we not taking in? You weren't able to take people in at that point
I don't think
because you
we
were
were
still
gonna
making
do that.
movement to contact, right?
We were.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we are going to do much with them.
Yeah.
But things were going the way they were. Then now we had some insurgents at the end of the street, right?
Yes.
All the way at the end. Then
Yep.
didn't we shoot a toe down there or something?
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so we basically end up getting like sort of in a cigar shaped ambush by the, I don't know, an hour into things.
Yeah.
Now, the way I remember it initially before any toe shots happened, we were kind of stuck as far as advancing any further. The road took a left dog leg off, and there was a wall there where they were firing RPGs basically
Yeah.
every few minutes. Another RPG came down the road. And they were pretty well dug in because the 50 cal and the Mark 19 had both been fired down there, cans of ammo, and
I know the ride back.
yeah, and
They get
nothing.
resupplied.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
And
in one of the trucks, and it was like I was hooting and hollering. It was like riding a freaking bull across a rodeo. He was flying.
Yeah.
And the truck was going up and down, and I was having a hoot and a holler. I was loving life. We were going to get more ammo, and I was like, he was just flying, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
We had that there was a 12.7 machine gun that had been mounted up on a 3-story building, upper left of that, and it was actually, I only remember this specifically because it had
Yeah.
jammed, and somebody had shot the gunner, and it was, so we had Gunny Merarkey with us on that day, and you two went over that direction and cleared that house, and I remember being in awe watching the masters at work. It was
I was going to
cool to
get
see.
to that part. Yeah, I was going there, but
Yeah, go ahead.
he and I went somewhere else too, and on our own, we were going to go down to the very, very end
Yes.
by ourselves, and we got to the wall on the left side. We got around that wall, so we had the wall between us and you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was all open and buildings to our left, and he wanted to go. And I was like, hey, Gunny, I mean, I'll go with you, but nobody knows we're here, and neither one of us have radios. As we go down there, we're on our own. They don't even know where we're at. And he says, yeah, you're right. We better not. Go.
Yeah.
That happened with me and Matroka one time. I wished we had. I said, hey, I want to go too, buddy, but we can't. We don't have radios with us.
Yeah, such a common story without the squad radios for everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, that was interesting day. I'm trying to think of the day. I was just mentioning Matroka. That was the day. I remember what I did that day. I came back. They pulled us out. There was a bunch of insurgents all around.
Mm-hmm.
It was after April 6th, 7th, 8th, I think, but right around that time period. And I can't remember where we were at. But I remember being in the middle of the road next to it must have been, it was a radio operator. And I took around right next to the head, and I could hear it go, pew, pop. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I moved a little bit. And I said to whoever was with me, there were some people there before us. And I said, has anybody gone over there yet? No, nobody. They just keep shooting once in a while. I said, nobody's gone there yet? No. So why not? I mean, I was like, I'll go. What the hell? Right about that time, I had looked. Let's see. It would be. Well, I did an about face actually, and there was an alleyway, and Matroka was kind of looking through the alley, and he and I were looking the exact same spot at the exact same time. It was the weirdest thing because I seen him turn around, and I was looking the same way, and he turned around and saw the same thing I saw the same thing that I saw, and I'm like, oh shit. So I started running my gun up straight towards Matroka, and I had just ready to pull the trigger. There was a guy, say 200 meters in front of us, dead center of the alley, but way out, 200 meters out. And he was running away, dragging an RPK with a belt of ammo 4 feet long along the sand. And he saw it, and I saw it, and I had my aim up, and I was ready to, I had him in my sights. But the problem was Matroka's helmet was like 1 foot away in my line of sight. And I was like, man, I know him. He might jump this way. I don't know what he's going to do. So I didn't pull the trigger because he was in front of me. So I got to him, and he saw it too. And I'm like, oh man, there's one right there, like candy store. So I wanted to go. I mean, had I maybe been by myself, I probably would have went, but he wanted to go. We both wanted to go. And again, we couldn't because nobody knew where we were. Nobody knew if we had went where we were going to go. And neither one of us had a radio. I had an ICOM, but I'm not going to go out with that.
Yeah, no range on it.
I still see that in my mind quite often. I still see that belt of ammo and that one guy that got away,
Yeah.
You bastard. But that's the day that they pulled us out of there. We went back to Hurricane Point, and I went ballistic. Do you remember that? I went into the company office and started screaming at anybody in there.
I do remember that.
Nobody would even come near me after that.
Yeah.
I was so flippin' pissed off that they pulled us out of there. I mean, I tell this story to people around, like they say, as I don't usually get mad at anything. That's pretty low key. anytime. And I say, I only 2 times I've ever been mad, like in my life, like real irate mad, and that was one of them. Boy, I don't remember ever being that mad though. I was so fucking pissed. I was screaming. First Sergeant Mag, I think a couple of lieutenants were in there.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I fucking want to be in the army. I would have joined the fucking army. They wouldn't have pulled out. Oh, I was pissed. And nobody came near me after that, though, for a little while anyway. Yeah, I remember that.
All right. Well, moving forward past some of the April stuff, because I mean, unless you got more stories, we can definitely go through them.
There's some other ones
Yeah, please
I
do.
remember. I mean, I can't remember them all, but there been some. Obviously, we're aware of some blue on blue scenarios.
Those were definitely after April, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Uh-huh.
not just that one with the tank. There was like 3 other ones that I was involved with. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Somebody's
Also,
gonna get.
there were 2 that I know of for sure. Now I'm curious about your other ones. One was with the strikers that were north of the river,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
fired at us. And then we had the Abrams tank that fired at us out east of the city. What were the other 2?
One was actually ODA, but that was a little one. I just mentioned it because that was just happened. I was counting that as one.
Sure.
And I guess it might have been just 3. I'm trying to think. There was another one. Can't remember which one it was though.
Yeah.
But we're all friendly fire.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the one with the tank, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, we could talk about it now. You're getting about the time frame.
Yeah, I'm trying to think there's a couple I missed, I'm sure. Trying to go back. I'm trying to think the tank was before we left to go to ODA.
Correct. Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
to my recollection, it was early June.
yeah, yeah. That makes about sense. Yeah. That would because I have
Well, if you've got notes, maybe you'll remember.
this is notes from July 16th.
Mm-hmm.
This is the week I came back from ODA, and I was there for 2.5 months. So maybe May, might have been May. I don't know.
It could have been. Yeah, it might have been late May. I knew it was right around that time
It
frame.
doesn't matter.
It was so Savage was killed on May 12th. And that's my only point of reference. It was after Savage's passing. That's all I remember.
I remember that, and if we want to get into that one,
Yeah, sure.
I don't think any of us wanted to be there. We kind of all thought it was a stupid idea to begin with.
I mean, yeah, the idea of the mission was that we were going to push as far east of the city as possible to the rural area. We were going to hide the trucks somehow
And just do nothing.
and
Watch Michigan.
and stop any vehicles that came down Michigan. That was the plan. And we never saw any vehicles.
There was one night that we did stop on Michigan.
Yeah, it was different night where we were closer to the graveyard. This is even
that one guy got out of his vehicle. I remember I was with Lieutenant Stevens. He got out and we were searching his vehicle. Of course, he was going who knows where. I don't know where he said he was going, but the guy gets out and set back, and all of a sudden he pulls out his phone and starts dialing on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I took my hand and smashed him out of it, took his phone right out of his hand and shoved it to the ground. Lieutenant Steve was like, "Did you really need to do that?" As he started dialing.
Yeah.
I mean, back then,
right.
just set off shit with dialing, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't see that. But yeah, I wish I could remember what day that was when we did the whole Abrams tank thing. But my recollection is driving out there. Obviously, was you were set back behind us, right? Or
we were.
Yeah,
we were a little bit west of you, and then we were down the hill in a gully. We had tried to hide the vehicles in some brush on a lower like sort of canal area.
Yeah. So we got out, the bit dismounts, and I went out. We had a 6-foot pile of dirt there off the median.
Mm-hmm.
And I had them, I said, get behind this. I wanted everybody to get their eyes back, get your eyes back to normal before we move any further. So we did that, and we were kind of hemming on which way to go. We weren't going to go far, but it was kind of silly anyway.
Yeah.
So I had this bad habit. Probably would still do it, but I always flicked my selection lever from safe to fire, from fire to safe, safe to fire, all the time. Flick, 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 flick. And just for no entire reason, I just
Yeah.
did it. But I wouldn't like click, click, click. I'd do it slow, so you couldn't like hear it or nothing. It wasn't a click.
Yeah.
So, but I always did that, and I hit fire one time, clicked at the fire, and that's when the shot came from the tank. I thought I had a negligent discharge or something. That was my immediate
That was
thought.
a big boom.
Then I realized I saw the shot go by, and like, holy shit. I thought immediately, I mean, that very split microsecond is when I flipped that trigger to fire. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't do that. And so, of course, now there's disagreements between Kevin and I. He thinks it was closer to him. I think it was closer to me. Or us. You guys, us.
That's what everybody says is that, and I think it was just such a goddamn big round that
because
it felt close to everybody.
The tank guy said they were shooting at the dismounts. Well, we were the dismounts.
Right.
But so that's how I took it. But I didn't know how far you guys were off the road either.
Not far. I mean,
we weren't far yet.
Yeah. You were just far. Like if you were looking down the road, you were far off. You were off the right. We were off the left.
Yeah. So that happened. And Miranda immediately starts firing back. I mean, of course, the first thing that goes your mind, maybe RPG, but then I realized it wasn't an RPG.
Yeah.
So he starts firing. Now, this is kind of where it gets dicey, because I read something in one of the transcripts that wasn't exactly true. And I forget whose transcript it was, but for one of your things there.
Okay.
Oh boy, this could take a while, because I don't think got the whole gist of what happened.
Okay.
Actually,
Go for it.
I gotta be careful about this one. I've been thinking about this too.
Okay.
Yeah, boy. So Miranda's firing, and I'm trying to see what the hell is going on. Like, okay, we got shit here, we got there, trying to judge what's going on. Though, of course, we start taking rounds from where you guys are, but I didn't know where you guys were.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm seeing tracers. I'm between Miranda and myself. I'm only like 3 feet away from Miranda. There's tracers literally going between us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck. So I get down. And to this day, I thought I had a dream one time, and I don't know if it was this is what I did or not. I remember I thought I grabbed him, and I might have yelled at him to get down. I'm saying, get down, get down. I might have pulled him down. I can't remember. Happened so fast. But I remember going to the ground. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm on the ground. I'm screaming in the radio, whatever I had at the time, like, ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. Swede heard me.
Mm-hmm.
So it stopped firing. And then I'm like, what the fuck, man? That something was hurting. I'm like, what? I thought I fell down, So Miranda's once they heard the tank come down, we knew what the hell was going on. So Miranda, he is on fire once he finds out that the tank was the one that shot and they're coming down. And I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Said, come on. Now we're all over to where you guys were at. He wanted to kill him. And I said, listen to me right now. I need you right now. We have to still get back to Hurricane Point. I need your eyes back of your head. I don't care what happened right now. I need you to do your job from now until we get back to Hurricane Point. What happened, happened. And we're going to deal with it when we get back. But for now on, do your job until we get back. I don't care what happened just now. I care what happens between right now and Hurricane Point. Okay. So he agreed. And then he said, I heard him say later that if I wasn't there, he thought he might do something stupid.
Yeah.
But
getting shot at a tank can get you a little angry.
Yeah.
So
it rattled a lot of people's senses.
With a heat round.
Yeah.
I remember when it impacted down there, like somebody's house just took a hit.
Yeah.
I remember I was thinking some poor bastard was probably sound asleep.
Not for long. Yeah.
Just took one in who knows where. But yeah. So of course, that we go, then Lieutenant Stevens comes down and he's irate as well. And you can tell me maybe more about what he had to say to them, because I kind of walked away from that aspect of it.
Wasn't close enough to hear it. I was taking
I heard he
certain.
was pretty perturbed.
I do remember him grabbing one of the people, and I believe it was the vehicle commander, but I'm not 100% sure, from the hatch and getting him close and yelling in his face. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, I don't either.
I was taking inventory of the vehicles and making sure people were alive and up, and things were accounted for. And that was it. So the rest of it, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm thinking still how I want to go about this.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah.
Trust me, I've been thinking about it a lot.
Okay.
I'll tell you why, because it took me 10 years of thinking before I finally told somebody.
Okay.
10 years it bothered me, and I never told anybody. Matter of fact, after we came back, I didn't talk about Ramadi to anybody for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I spoke about it here and there, but nothing, nothing like I would talk to you guys or something like that.
Sure.
And there was no purpose in it. They wouldn't understand.
That's
very true.
But,
very common sentiment.
yeah. So what happened? I read something that somebody said that Miranda took a little small swipe from Monroe's bullet in his flak jacket.
That was what I was told. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Okay.
But somebody did get hit.
So that was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know how to explain this, because I couldn't explain it to myself for a long time. I thought, how in the hell possible can you possibly get hit with a 50 cal and not even, what I narrowed it down to was it so narrowly missed me, like the boat tail of the bullet, maybe.
Sure.
Barely. It was just passing.
Mm-hmm.
Caught me. Because what happened was I went to the ground. I couldn't breathe. And when I was screaming, ceasefire, 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 I'm struggling. So when we get back, and this is when I'm talking to Miranda, I could barely freaking talk. I was like trying to grunt it out. When we get back to the hooch that night, and I took my shit off and go to take a shower. I'm like, I don't want to go even look at that. But I looked at my flak jacket and the ballistic vest, the ballistic plate. Sure enough, it was hit and it was cracked. And so that night I slept pretty much on my belly, but the next night was when shit happened. My whole back was black and blue. So if you noticed, I never took a shower until everybody went to bed.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want anybody to see my back, let alone Monroe. Because I didn't tell anybody what happened. Zero buddy knew anything about that.
Yeah.
For 10 years. And I thought about that for 10 years. And finally, I got rip-roaring drunk one night. And I think I know. I called Lieutenant Stevens. I got a hold of Monroe. I think I got a hold of one more person
and
told them. And they were like, what? We didn't know about. Oh, matter of fact, that's where I was going with that. We had the whole NCIS investigation in the chow hall.
Mm-hmm.
They were asking the questions and all that. I didn't mum. My mum was the word to me. I didn't say a word about it. So anyway, yeah, that happened. And I mean, that could have been nasty, because Monroe said he had his pack 2 dialed in. How he missed any of us was we were right there.
My only way of understanding it is that all those, especially out there, that road had a huge crown.
Yeah.
And where the vehicle was, he was basically shooting flat to the road. So even trying to hit you would have been almost impossible. Like he was almost doing something that was physics wise almost impossible.
We were a little bit elevated where we were, though.
Right.
And we weren't exactly where we wanted to be, we hadn't even decided where to go. I did want to go a little bit further in the direction we came from, or further away rather, and go up. And that's about when it all started. So that was I got that off my chest. But it still doesn't make sense. That's why I never said anything. Like, who the hell can possibly even make that shit up or believe that?
Yeah.
But like I said, I put every scenario in my head and it only points to that one.
Right.
So I don't know how they got whoever brought that story up about Miranda. Said they went to get ballistic plates at the supply, and that's what I did. So it must have
So
been whoever
probably,
I
so
told.
it was me that said the story, but I must have got the names wrong. I thought it was Miranda got hit. I guess it was you. I couldn't remember. But
But I don't know who must have told you though, because
you
you
know,
know it
I
must have
tried
been
to pay
somebody
attention
I
to
talked
everything.
to. Yeah,
So
but I'm just saying. I just like
yeah,
who knows that?
yeah,
It only been like two people, three people that I talked to.
yeah.
But anyway, that was that day. I don't have any uh, more to add on that aside to drive back. I was like watching Miranda, and when he got back, I guess he went to, I don't know what he did after that, but went to
Uh,
talk to somebody.
they pulled him and one other person. I don't remember who else, and Swede, and took him over to the battalion COC and
Yeah.
asked them kind of an account of what happened because nobody believed us that a tank shot at us. That was it, which also was really funny. And then we had a picture of the tank, and it was like, okay, well, that's clearly an Abrams tank. And then
Yeah.
that was the short version of that.
Well, obviously the Abrams came down, so it was,
Right, right. Yeah,
it
the
was
the vehicle ID was very easy when they're right next to you.
telltale proof.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a tank story from Desert Storm, though, real quick.
Yeah.
We had, of course, they had the T-72s and all that shit.
Yeah.
We were driving up. I'll just be short, just quick. We were driving up, and there was tanks there, but they were abandoned. But we got into one section even further north, and all of a sudden there was a lot of tanks, just like a whole line of them. I'm like, what the smoke is this crap? What they were big, uh, huge pieces of plywood with T-72s painted on them.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
if you looked at them, it looked like a T-72 from a distance. That's what their tactical expertise provided for themselves.
Nice. Decoys. That's
Yeah,
good.
I just brought this reminded me of that.
Yeah.
You're thinking, what else we got?
Well, let's see. Getting into this time frame, I mean, next thing is you got pulled for ODA, and I'm kind of curious of your experience with that.
Yeah,
Sakaki had a lot of good things to say. I'm curious about yours.
oh, all good, all good. I read what Kevin said, and I would almost mirror everything he said. I'll add probably a lot more, but I don't know if I read all of his. Did he have two sections, two portions?
Yeah, about 2 hours. Yeah.
I know I read I know I read what he said about that, and he was
Mhm.
right. But I'll tell you how that started, and not a lot of people knew what we did over there. I don't think the battalion didn't know what we were doing over there.
No.
Nobody knew.
Sure.
So that all started. Sergeant Major Booker came to our hooch map 2, and somebody was in the hooch. I was outside on the river end, sitting somewhere, and came out and said, "Hey, Sergeant Neill, Sergeant Major Booker is looking for you." And I'm like, "Oh, what's he want?" He said, "I don't know." Then immediately in my head, I'm like, "Oh man, what'd I do?" I mean, I know I did some sketchy shit in the last week or two, but I don't think he knows about it. But so he came out, and I tell this story almost verbatim because I remember it as verbatim. He says, "Sergeant Neil, how you doing? Do you mind if I talk to you?" And I'm thinking to myself, "There's a sergeant major asking me if I mind if you can talk to me."
Right.
Of course. I mean, sure. What am I? Okay. He says, I want to ask you something. I got something for you. Um, I forgot how he did. I know what I said, but he worded it as such. The Army wants to grab a dozen Marines from 2-4 and send them over to the Green Beret units across the river, the ODA units. I want, you don't have to go, but I'm asking you if you want to. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you're going to be doing. I have no idea where you're going. I can tell you what I think you're going to be doing. I think you're going to be going into Syria. Now, this is when Syria was going on a little bit. And he says, I want you to, this is what he said. I want you to handpick about a dozen Marines from the battalion, and I'm going to send you over there with them. And that's how that whole thing started.
Huh.
So little did I know, the Army wanted us rickety tick, like fast.
Yeah.
So I didn't even make a selection. The trucks came and got us already loaded with the company's gunny selections or whoever selected the people from the other companies to go. It was me and Sakaki from our company. And so we just roll up to that compound and started training with them. I think we had 13 to start with. There was two guys that I ended up chopping. I said, they're not, I told the Army warrant officer and their company commander, or the platoon commander, I said, these two I'm going to send back. They're not going to, this isn't going to be good for them. They're not up for it. They weren't right. So I sent them back. So we ended up with 10 or 11, I think, total. Now we trained with them guys. First day there, it was great. We took a shower. They said we all stunk.
They were right.
They were.
First day was great, kind of mellow in, get our bearings, showed us around a little bit, had a good meal. But we trained right off for a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks straight up on every aspect of their cycle of events, from everything from CQB, their way, explosives, close quarter combat, foreign weapons training a lot, evasive driving with all different vehicles, taxis, a lot of CQB, a lot. If you ever seen the movie You Believe in Miracles with the 1980 Olympic team,
Yeah.
when the coach tells the team to do the ice drills, their conditioning drills up and down, again. That's what we did with hitting the house. Every time we did it, we got a little bit faster. Again, and we just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until we were perfect. It was like beautiful. It was a beautiful operation. I mean, there's concussion grenades and flashbangs every iteration we went in. So you're like, you're out of it. So we got so good. It was unbelievable how good we were with everybody from the Lance Corporal up to the top. So finally, I don't know if Kevin got into this at all, but the second, I want to say it's closer, but not quite to the second week. And we were having chow, and the the platoon first sergeant or master sergeant, I think it was. It's either him or the company commander. Finally says, so you guys are probably wondering why you're here. I said, well, we've been kind of wondering, yeah. Nobody knew to this point. We were there for 2 weeks almost. We still didn't know. But we knew what we were doing. A lot of shit training. And it was no bullshit. It was like hardcore. And so they took us upstairs, put on a video. Zarqawi, before this video came out to public, to YouTube, to wherever it came out in the mainstream media. It was a first-hand view of almost an original copy of Zarqawi beheading Nicholas Berg. And it was full audio, nothing was cut. It was his head cut off, the blood spurting, the sucking of his windpipe, everything. It was raw footage. So we saw everything. We heard the sucking, we heard everything. And he says, you're here to help us catch or kill Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. That's your only reason. That's what we want you here for. So our reason why we were there is to get Zarqawi. That's what we were sent there for. The battalion didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. We found out later, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, cool.
That was nuts. So that being said, we started doing missions, and we did a couple of clandestine ones, and I needed some pants, and they didn't have any really that I could wear for, outside of the uniform. So they gave me this pair of pants, a little bit too long for me, but a couple inches. I had to cuff them up. I had them for a couple of days, of wearing them every day. And so they started chuckling at me one night at the dinner, and I said, okay, what's so funny? So it's the Reggie, the guy I know, I ended up working with him years later, but he he says, "Your pants, Curt, your pants." That's what we keep laughing at. I said, "What's? I know they're long. Okay, I can't know nothing about it. You got a seamstress?" So he says, "No, but what you're wearing is Zarqawi's pants. DNA, DNA tested. I'm wearing here. I am wearing fucking Zarqawi's pants."
That's too funny.
I remember you
So,
telling me
the
this.
Killer,
Oh, it's so good.
the killer about that is when we left Ramadi, Hurricane Point, I had my sea bag packed, filled to the gills, and those pants didn't make it in there. They made it to the dumpster. It kills me to this day. I should have sacrificed some gear and made a missing gear statement or something.
Yeah.
Stuffed those pants in there. So the only memories I have of those pants are a couple pictures with me in them.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Well, like Kevin said, and I'll tell you, when they pulled us out of there, the Army wanted us to stay a couple more months with them, with a rotating team. And this is what battalion said. They told the Army, I'm sorry, the battalion told the Army, and this is what they told us, the ODA team. They said that for the professional development of our younger Marines, we would like them to come back to their units. And I'm thinking, professional development? You can't get any more professional than what they just experienced.
Right.
This was the biggest, the most professional developmental progress they're ever going to see anywhere in the Marine Corps. You could stay in 20 years and not get what they just did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the pinnacle, the zenith, the apex of my military 8 years. That was the best 2.5 months I've ever had in the Marines. It was with the Army.
Yeah.
We did more shit, did unbelievable shit. And we were so in the loop, they made us completely into the loop. I mean, what we didn't know, and I found this out a month into it, was I was on the gym with one of the CIA guys here, outside upstairs. There was 4 buildings. It was us and the Rangers. They were the Army Rangers were our security. And then there was 2 other buildings. The one second to the Rangers, the second to the end. I went in, there was an internet connection there you could use. They said, "Oh yeah, just go down there. They'll let you use it." So I walk into this building and look up and I'm like, what in the holy hell am I in? They're all over the ceilings, just TV after TV of every city in Iraq. So I go back, talk to this guy and say, who in the hell are them guys down there? Said, "Oh, that's the CIA and Delta Force."
Yeah.
And I said, "What are they doing?" He says, "They're not doing, you are. You're doing the missions that they do. Those are their missions. They're doing the intel and you're doing the missions for them." And I'm like, "Well, isn't that just skippy to know?" So that was pretty crazy. But for them to take us out of there was just a kick in the gut, because we just were now getting to that point where we meshed. It was so just one team. It was great. And we went down to Fallujah, got a tractor trailer out of there. That was pretty whole neat story there. That was when I was hijacked on the main highway there, but they didn't know I had a GPS on it. So we went down through the desert. I say it's the desert, from between Ramadi and Fallujah. Went into the outskirts of Fallujah online. We were on call, and then we came into this little village and all went online in the Humvees. It was like a freaking Mad Max movie. We came flying in, and we were all sleeping an hour before that. And then the company commander, the platoon commander, we got on the radio. "Okay, everybody get up, wake up. 3 clicks out, 2 clicks out. Everybody's getting ready." Now we're like pumped up. 1 click out. That's how it went down. I'm like, holy fuck. We're getting right into it. We hit this little village, this town, hamlet, I should call it. I cleared a bunch of buildings with the Army guys, fast. There's some paperwork on that, and then we found the tractor trailer. I don't know how I ended up with the bolt cutters, but I did. I opened the trailer, the tractor trailer, and opened up the doors, and it's all these big ass wooden crates, property of United States Marine Corps. It had $500,000 worth of communication gear in there. And so we ended up hijacking that. Well, we took the trailer And the tractor that was attached to it, Eric, the comm guy, he hot-wired the tractor trailer,
Nice.
drove that back to Blue Diamond, and told the guy that actually owned the tractor that you can come get your tractor. You just come to where it is. We'll give it back to you. But obviously, you're not getting that trailer.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But that was a long drive. It doesn't, you wouldn't, but we took the long ways around. We didn't take any roads hardly at all. We just went straight through the most less populated area we could find.
Right around that same time, we made one trip to Camp Fallujah, and even that was several hours. Like, 3 hours or whatever it was one way. So
Yeah.
I can imagine going the long way. It was even worse.
Yeah. Well, I saw Kevin mention the belly dancers and the beers. I don't have to mention those to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was July 4th.
That was your July 4th. So I remember that because
Yeah.
I remember you guys cracking off all the
No, we got reprimanded for that.
all the fireworks. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, we were popping off I wasn't, but I didn't even know who was, but they were popping off those fireworks. And of course, on the other side, you got whatever it's called now, or was called then. What's the big camp there?
Junction City.
Junction City. Well, they had those 113s there that were specifically designed to triangulate,
Yes.
mortars and rockets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're tracking these fireworks going off.
Yeah.
They're tracking them to our position. So the guy on the other side of the army knew we were there, and it was some major. And we got a hold of the radio to the Captain Decker. He said, "Listen, I'm just as patriotic as the next guy, but I can't have you guys popping off fireworks. That 113s are dialing you in." I'm like, he said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll stop."
That's so funny.
But that was an amazing experience there. If anybody told me I was ever going to do that, ever, and that's my whole life as a kid, it's always what I want to do is do something like that. High,
Yeah.
I don't want to say special forces, but something significant like that.
Well,
I can go on and on about that, please.
so my memory is it culminated August 1st-ish, 1st or 2nd, when you finally came, and we thought we had Zarqawi. And for anybody listening to this that is not from 2-4, I don't know that there's very many people that do, but Musab al-Zarqawi was the head of al-Qaeda in Iraq. And so he was the highest of high value target.
It's like $7 or $9 million bounty.
Right. Yeah. And so Operation Traveler was, you guys knew where the house was. And that was right before you came back to us. We had that area surrounded, and we ended up getting Zarqawi's personal driver, and not him. He was not there, but and it was his aunt's house or grandmother's house or something like that.
Yeah, there was another one we did. It might have been the same time, but I know we got his brother.
Yeah.
Who was like auto dealer.
Yep.
He had a shitload of money in the house. But he took the money, and we verified, he's not that much of a threat. We gave the money back to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy stuff. But we did some other operations actually involving what we thought probably was at one time WMDs. We drove up to, because we had a lot on, or I say we because I was with them, but they had a lot of informants that we would contact, or they'll contact us, and we'd follow up with it. We went to this one place called Lake Tartar, Thar.
Okay.
So it was way the hell out there. We actually had, air watching us, and we could see ourselves. We had Blue Force tracker and all that. We went up there, and beautiful lake. It was like blue as can be. I looked it up on Google too, just because did I really see that? There was like a waterfall next to it. It was like, where the hell am I at?
You felt like you left the country?
But one of the guy that brought us there, he showed us where it was dug out by a bulldozer, and it was big enough to where somebody backed and buried in a tractor trailer and then unburied it and pulled it out recently. And we never did find it or find out what was in it, nothing like that. But the guy that was there seems to think it was important.
That was the rumor, right? That most of the stuff they had to spin up sarin gas and VX gas was in tractor trailers, and they were mobile labs, and that they could basically make 1,000 pounds of sarin in 24 hours.
I mean, a lot of that shit that he had, I mean, there's no question he had it.
Right.
I mean, that all ended up in Syria long before the inspectors were there, long before we got there.
Right.
So it's not a question if it was there, it was not there. In my opinion, anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, we had some neat adventures with them, I'll say.
That's good. That's how people talk about Disneyland. And I
Yeah.
like that you're talking about doing special forces raids in the hottest of hot zones and the hottest of hot times of a war. That's good.
Yeah. Well, one time when we had our time off too, though, we had a kind of a good deal. Well, one of the other reasons the battalion wanted us to come back because they thought everybody was going rogue. It was far from the case, you know. I mean, I got a sergeant or first sergeant, then Ellis story. So we would go get our own mail, drive to like Snake Pit or Blue Diamond or Hurricane Point, just two of us
Mhm.
usually.
Yeah.
And I think it was me and Kevin Sakaki one time, or I might have went with somebody else. But I went to, he was at Snake Pit, right? Sergeant Major Ellis.
No, he was most of the time he was at the palace. He was in charge of the guys who were guarding the gate. So I saw him quite frequently up there.
Well, he was at the Snake Pit when I was there.
Yeah, he might have
That's
went out
one
there.
time.
Sure.
So I had all my full beard by then.
Mhm.
And he thought I was a Green Beret. And so I said, I just want to let you, first sergeant, I just want to let you know your Marines are doing great, doing a really good job. And so he starts talking to me, asking me Army questions and who are you guys, what unit you with and all this. Well, first sergeant, I'm just a sergeant from Weapons Company. He goes, oh, Jesus Christ. He thought I was somebody I wasn't, you know.
Nice.
I always got a chuckle out of that. He said, no, I'm just Sergeant Neill from Weapons Company.
If you like what you've heard, this is a multi-part episode. Make sure you listen to the rest of the story.